I'm Megan Muller. I'm a multimedia artist. I am really interested in non-traditional image making, so oftentimes I'm using a flatbed scanner, taking it on walks and discovering architectural elements in Los Angeles. I spend a lot of time on site at these locations capturing the environments with my scanner and then assembling the work afterwards. I am very influenced by growing up in Virginia. A lot of people in my family are hunters, and it was not uncommon to sit in one place to watch your environment. So I feel like I have come to Los Angeles and tried to recreate that experience for myself with the hopes that I can share maybe something that people have passed over on their walk to and from the subway or to work, just the beauty of our built environment. Receiving the West Hollywood Artist Grant has been very meaningful. Over the past year, it's allowed me to take real creative risks and expand my practice in ways I couldn't before. One of the biggest shifts was being able to commit to bookmaking as part of my process. I've always been interested in how images and materials can tell stories through touch and repetition, and this grant gave me the resources to explore that. I was able to take a bookbinding class, learned new techniques, and began thinking about the book not just as an object, but another kind of exhibition space, something intimate, portable, and archival. For the first time, I was able to print many of my scanned projects, pieces that had lived only in my hard drive because I couldn't afford to produce them before. Seeing those works in other physical forms completely changed how I understood my own archive and how I wanted to share it. One of the highlights of this year was participating in the Berlin, Mexico City, Los Angeles Artist Exchange. My project in the show grew from my desire to explore both the archive as a method and a material, bringing together my ongoing interest in surface, memory, and collaboration. The installation became an immersive environment of layered scans from my personal archive, mapping connections between site, replica, and the book as a form of storage and storytelling. Through the grant, I also met several incredible artists living and working in West Hollywood. Having that local network, people I can share ideas and space with, has been deeply grounding and inspiring. Professionally, the support boosted my confidence and visibility in a huge way. I said yes to showing with the Artist Exchange and have since been offered a residency in Mexico City. Financially, the grant helped ease pressure, letting me make more conceptual choices instead of constantly worrying about resources. Emotionally, being recognized by my own city is incredibly affirming. It made me feel seen and supported, like I'm part of a larger creative ecosystem that values what artists bring to the community. Looking ahead, I'm excited to keep building on this foundation, continuing to explore archive, bookmaking, and collaboration, and to find ways to give back by supporting other artists and shared spaces for experimentation. Thank you so much to the City of West Hollywood for making this happen.
My name is Phil Tarley. For most of my life, I've made films and I've been a writer. I've published stories about travel and about art. I've curated over 80 fine art photography shows, some of them gay and lesbian, some of them international, some of them here in West Hollywood. My work is shown as a photographer and a filmmaker in the Guggenheim on PBS, and in the homes of many gay men all across the world, because I'm the only fellow of the American Film Institute ever inducted into the Gay Porn Hall of Fame. I have high culture and low culture aspirations. I've lived and worked on 6 continents, and right now I've used the grant to write my life story, a memoir called Insatiable Tales of an Underground Traveler. And I've seen it all. I've been an ACT UP, I've been an activist in Cuba during the Vietnam War. I've had interactions with Fidel Castro, with Eartha Kitt, with Monica Vitti, Rainer Werner Fassbinder, Kenneth Anger, Gary Indiana, and they're all rolled up into icons, misfits, and crazy people in my wonderful book about my strange, adventurous life. The grant has enabled me to go to the Tennessee Williams Literary Festival in New Orleans, where I met some agents and publishers. Then I took another trip to New York to meet with a couple of publishers. And I'm still writing. I also use a grant to work with an editor that I hired right now, Don Tingling, and I'm still writing and still editing. It's not a quick artwork to do, but I think it's going to be really good, and I'm very proud of it. Next for me is to get it published, and I hope everyone in the world gets to read it and put a few copies in the West Hollywood Library too. That's it.
Hello, West Hollywood Arts and Cultural Commission. My name is Christian Cintron, and I just want to start by thanking you so much for this life-changing grant. I am a stand-up comedian, writer, and teaching artist. I teach at stand-up comedy at Los Angeles City College's Rodney Dangerfield Institute, which was created to make comedy education more accessible. I've also partnered with the Los Angeles LGBT Center's Trans Lounge and Elder Center to offer stand-up comedy classes there. I also created Stand Up for Your Power, which is an approach to teaching stand-up comedy as a tool for personal empowerment. I mean, essentially, stand-up comedy is one of the scariest things that you can do. So conquering that can be really impactful, but also looking at how you can use the same tools to set boundaries, express heavy emotions, or tell traumatic stories with levity can be really impactful in your personal life. Let's be honest, we're living in crazy times. And there's just this general sense of heaviness and conflict in the world, but being able to navigate all of that with humor and grace puts the power back in your hands. I fundamentally believe that we all have horror stories, defeating narratives, and dark thoughts, but how we can package these for an audience not only makes them more palatable, but also changes how they feel for us in our body. Stand-up comedy has helped me conquer so much in my life, and being able to be more quick on my feet, be more responsive, be more present, and also just sort of circumvent depression and stress by being able to express myself in the moment and have what I say be received well. So that's kind of been my motivation for trying to help people. I've also taught a version of Stand Up for Your Power called Stand Up for Empowerment at the West Hollywood Library. I've done that a few times, and I'd just like to share a note from Emily K. Ramirez, who works there, and what she had to say about the experience. She says, Christian Cintron's stand-up comedy for self-empowerment workshop at West Hollywood Library has quickly become one of our library's most beloved and in-demand programs. Every session has filled to capacity with an extensive wait list, most notably that for our January 2025 offering, which had the longest wait list of a program post-COVID. And the excitement has been so strong that we've repeated the series multiple times and have even developed new creative programs inspired by its success. Christian brings an incredible mix of humor, compassion, and insight to the classroom, creating a space where participants feel seen, supported, and genuinely empowered to share their stories through comedy. The verbal feedback I've received has been overwhelmingly positive. Participants frequently tell me how transformative the experience was, how much confidence they gained, and how much they appreciated Christian's warmth and encouragement. Some have even repeated the workshop. It's been a joy to watch people light up at his sessions and see how his unique approach to comedy has built both skill and community. Hosting this program has been a highlight for our library and a wonderful example of how laughter can spark real growth and connection. I'm happy to say that I am partnering with Emily on another class coming in February, and we are working together on an open mic, which starts December 4th. And if you noticed, I was feeling a little cringe about reading that, because, you know, I think as artists sometimes, especially as solopreneurs and one-man bands in a city like Los Angeles, so much of it can hinge on our confidence, but we don't always get validated for our art. And I think one of the most transformative things about this grant was that it gave me the belief, not only that I can do it, but just the fact that, like, I can make my living from my art, and what I have matters to people. I mean, I tell my students all the time, you don't know whose medicine you're carrying, but it's another thing to really fundamentally believe it. I will also say the grant came at a really perfect time. As I said, things are crazy out there, and a lot of the classes that I had booked for early 2024 that I had booked in 2024 for early 2025 were canceled due to all of the funding cuts. And so that was a bit stressful, but it really allowed me to double down and focus on my art and just sort of keep myself stable throughout the year. Things that I'm looking forward to are, this whole process has really affirmed that my voice matters. And so I'm putting together my own stand-up 1 hour that I want to do and tour around. I will, of course, be publishing my book after some changes that I will be making to accommodate our crazy political climate. And also partnering with more organizations and groups on classes like the West Hollywood Library and other organizations. And I just want to say thank you so much. This has been so transformative to me in a way that it is validating and encouraging, and I think that it fundamentally is a jolt in the arm to a lot of artists who can feel like they're just yelling in a quiet room. Well, that's a mixed metaphor. But just the ability to feel seen and validated and encouraged and supported in a way that is amazing. And this coming from the town where I live is just awesome. So thanks again.
Hello everyone, I'm Francois, an artist, music producer, creative director here in Los Angeles. And I want to first off thank the Arts Commission for extending this grant to me. It's been a huge help in me realizing my creative vision this year. Over the past year, I've been really focused on exploring the intersection of soundscapes and genres within Black music. I've written over 20 songs that encompass various genres: R&B, jazz, Afrobeats, funk, disco. And those songs will inform a body of work that I'm calling the Sum of All Colors. The Sum of All Colors isn't just about sound. It's a visual and emotional exploration. I created a series of vignettes using West Hollywood and Hawaii as a backdrop to explore how color, architecture, our physical landscape is akin to rhythm, music, sonics. And the grant helped me bring that vision to life. I was able to hire cinematographers and rent camera equipment, lighting equipment, in order to create these vignettes. I also spent time researching visual approaches by immersing myself in the work of modern Black artists. Noah Davis, Amy Sherald, Micheline Thomas all had exhibits in Los Angeles within this past year, those and more, studying how they depicted the Black experience through their visual artwork to inform how I could do the same and coalesce the sonic work with the visual work. So through this exploration, I've honed in on a sound and a vibe that really is true to who I am, to my experience, and also speaks to the broader experience of the diaspora. As I move forward, I'm in the final stages of recording The Sum of All Colors, completing this visual album, which is geared to be released in February or March of next year. So that's essentially what I've been doing, and once again I want to thank the Arts and Cultural Affairs Council. Just let you know how appreciative I am of you helping make my vision a reality. All right, you guys have a great evening.